Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some incredibly interesting news to go over. As I'm sure most of you are well aware, the multiplayer beta for Battlefield 6 is starting tomorrow, technically in just a couple of hours by the time this video goes live, and the hype for this game is unreal, man. I have not seen hype for a game like this in a very long time. I think for a lot of people, both EA and Battlefield Studios have checked all the right boxes. They came out at the perfect time, they're saying all the right things, the game's looking incredibly good, and honestly, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this. I wonder if other people feel the same way, but for me personally, it almost seems too good to be true. I'm having an incredibly hard time finding people who are not excited for this game or seeing people who have negative things to say about it. I'm sure there will be some issues with the beta. That's the very point of a beta. That's why they have it, right? It's not going to be perfect, and I'm sure they're going to smooth that all over, but so far, things have gone incredibly well, and Activision have been taking note of that. So we got an insider leak today from Tom Henderson, who of course we have covered countless times here in the channel, and according to Tom's sources within the company, Activision is monitoring the hype around Battlefield 6 incredibly closely, so closely in fact that they're making anti-cheat changes thanks to Battlefield. We'll talk more about that here in a bit, but the internal word from Activision is they're not worried, and that honestly blows my mind. I think any sane person in the world would say that Activision has plenty to be panicking about, and it's not like this is a public statement or anything. It's a leak from somebody within the company talking to Tom Henderson, but they claim that they are not worried about Battlefield 6 because Call of Duty is too big to fail. Now, I do want to get into the article itself and see exactly what they said and everything, but before we do that, the idea that something is too big to fail, right? How many times have we heard about that and seen it proven wrong over the years? I mean, Guitar Hero, another product by Activision, by the way, was too big to fail. Sears was too big to fail. MySpace was too big to fail. The banks were too big to fail. They say that no king rules forever, and Call of Duty has had a pretty solid run, but the idea that the guys at the top think that the series is too big to fail is honestly indicative of how the franchise has fallen so much. It's fallen not only in terms of popularity, but also in terms of community perception and community reaction and the core aesthetic and feel of the game as a whole. Everything is just going downhill with the COD franchise as of late, and when the suits at the top, who don't even play video games, assume that that gravy train is never going to come off the tracks, that's how we end up in a situation like we are in with Black Ops 6. Microtransactions are a license to print money. I do understand that, but Activision has been pressing that microtransaction button every second of every day for the past couple of years, and look at where it has gotten them, man. Record low player numbers, record low interest in the game. Who is actually talking about and who is actually excited about Black Ops 7? I don't know anybody personally. I really don't, and they cranked up these stupid microtransactions and the skill-based matchmaking so much now that they have driven away their entire core player base. And now we have a game like Battlefield 6 coming out, which is doing all the right things, saying all the right things, looking fantastic and everything, and Activision's claiming they're not worried about it. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So here we can see from Tom Henderson via his website Insider Gaming, link to him down there in the description, definitely go check out his actual website. We see, speaking with sources who wish to remain anonymous because they are not authorized to talk about Activision's internal conversations, it's been said that although Activision is keeping a close eye on Battlefield, they are not worried about the game outcompeting its flagship franchise. It's said that Activision leadership believes that Call of Duty is, quote, too big to fail, unquote, and will remain a profitable, annually released franchise for years to come. At the time of writing, an annual Call of Duty title is penciled in for the next 4 years at least. That final point is kind of interesting. It's no secret that COD is going to continue making annual games, but we already know about Black Ops 7, obviously. I mean, it's coming out. The multiplayer reveals in a couple of weeks, and then we have Modern Warfare 4 after that, right? And then we already know about Sledgehammer Games in 2027, which apparently is going to be a new sub-series for the franchise, but apparently there's already something going on for COD 2028. Nobody really seems to know about this. When the news came out, even Charlie Intel has said that they haven't heard anything from their sources about COD 2028. So what's that going to be? Black Ops 8? Black Ops 2028? It never freaking stops with this series, man. And it's honestly interesting that they plan that far ahead, given the current state of the COD franchise. This might sound a bit dramatic, and I admit that it is, but with the way the COD is going right now, I don't even want to imagine what kind of bullshit they plan to pull 4 years from now. With no change, change, without fundamentally changing what they're doing to the COD franchise right now, I'm not sure if there's even going to be a community of players left by the year 2027, let alone 2028, for crying out loud. Like, people might give Sledgehammer the benefit of the doubt in 2027, but dude, just the COD franchise needs change. They cannot just keep doing the same thing they've been doing with Black Ops 6, because that is a sinking ship, man. I mean, they may be making money now, but we've talked about that. Like, they're selling out the future of the franchise for short-term gain. It's not going to work out in the long run, right? And I also think that the idea that Activision is not worried about Battlefield might honestly be true, and that might shock some of you, but I honestly think that they might believe that, right? Because part of me just wants to say that the suits are just putting on a persona for the people working there, sort of like, you know, smiling through the pain, like, oh, we're gonna be just fine, we're COD, we're amazing and everything, right? But I also feel like I know Activision pretty well, and those guys are so delusional, they are so out of touch with gaming and their own franchise and their own community, that I would honestly believe that they believe Battlefield will not be a problem for them. I can see how these freaking narcissists that run this company will think in their head that Call of Duty is doing amazing and it's always going to be fantastic, despite all the evidence to the contrary, because they never seem to have any fucking idea what is even going on with their own video game. Also, if they aren't worried about Battlefield, then why are they copying it? Because that's right, ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of days after Battlefield announces their anti-cheat, which reportedly is going to be the same anti-cheat they've been running for a while, Call of Duty just comes out of the woodwork to say that they're copying them. So let's take a look at that next. So a couple of days ago, it was announced that Battlefield will be running on something called the Javelin anti-cheat. To my understanding, this will be a kernel-level anti-cheat similar to what's being run on a game like Valorant, meaning that you will need to have secured boot enabled for your PC. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an expert when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm really in over my head. For me personally, it's already enabled on my PC. I didn't have to change anything whatsoever. But secured boot essentially seems to mean that the moment you turn your PC on, it prevents software that the manufacturer does not trust from loading onto your PC. Again, I'm not an expert. I have seen some people saying that they don't like having the anti-cheat being that deep within their machine, but from the outside looking in, it seems like for very casual hackers to just download these scripts and whatever, it seems like step one for them to do that is to disable secured boot. So by the anti-cheat forcing it on these people's PCs, it appears that's going to be a step in the right direction. It's not going to kill cheating or hacking entirely by any stretch of the imagination, but apparently it does make it much more of a pain in the ass, at least for the casual cheaters. The super hardcore ones are probably going to find a way around it, but again, all this seems like a good thing, and wouldn't you know it, just a couple of days after Battlefield makes this announcement, Call of Duty shows up saying, hey guys, we're also going to force secured boot with our anti-cheat with Black Ops 7, and oh, we might be testing it a little bit with Black Ops 6 as well. Like, aren't we great? Like, we finally listened to you guys. That's freaking hilarious, man. Like, the Ricochet anti-cheat has been out for what, like 4 years now, and they're just now deciding out of nowhere for no particular reason to add this feature to it after all the hacking, all the cheating, all the tournaments being ruined, ranked play being terrible for years, casual multiplayer being ruined, Warzone just not even being worth playing anymore, not to mention the older games that are hacked all the shit. They let all this go on for years and years and never seem to care. But now that Battlefield is coming, now that Battlefield is the most pre-ordered game of the year, now that hype levels are through the freaking roof, Activision decides to finally press the button. Like, I don't know who they're trying to kid here, but the important thing is it's happening, right? The Battlefield 6 beta isn't even out yet, and it's already forcing some positive change within the Call of Duty franchise. This is exactly what we've been hoping for. This is why we keep saying that COD needs competition, because this is what happens when they actually have to try. They may be claiming that they're not worried, but a change like this implies to me that Activision is not only worried, they are freaking terrified. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Definitely some interesting news coming from Tom Henderson, as well as some good news for both Battlefield and the Call of Duty franchise. Like, it just all wins today. Like I mentioned earlier, the Battlefield 6 multiplayer beta is set to start in just a few hours after this video goes live. It's going to be super interesting, man. Like, I can't wait to get into the game and knock off all that rust. I admit I'm going to be rusty. It's been a long time since I played Battlefield, but I'm excited to get back into the franchise, man, after having played so much of it way back in the day. And I'm wondering if the servers are even going to be able to keep up. Like, so many people are going to be playing this beta, and maybe that's the reason why they're releasing it at 4 a.m. Eastern and 1 a.m. Pacific. Like, those are really weird times as compared to like doing it in the afternoon, right? Maybe they're doing that so they can ease people into the servers without just like crashing everything entirely. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but regardless, it should be fun, and it's definitely going to be interesting, and you guys can expect plenty of Battlefield 6 videos to come out over the course of the coming days. I can't help but feel like I'm forgetting something, however. Like, I feel like I covered everything here in this video. There's There's gonna be one. Oh yeah, Season 5 for Black Ops 6 is coming out tomorrow as well. Like, is anybody excited for this? Like, is anyone at all? Are any of you going to be playing this? Like, I'm certainly not excited whatsoever, though to be perfectly honest with you guys, I may take a few hours off Battlefield, not tomorrow, probably in a couple of days or something, just to record Black Ops 6 and tear that absolute piece of garbage apart, because we all know that's what the update is going to be. I suppose time will tell, but ladies and gentlemen, for right now, I'm going to wrap up this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Be sure to sub if you're new around here. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.